Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and welcome to a new episode of Sipping with Jeremy. And today we're going to be talking about Redwood Empire's newest releases, the Devil's Tower and the Foggy Burl. So if you go back to the first episode of Sipping with Jeremy, I will apologize now for how it looks. But the first episode we did was featuring Redwood Empire and their three core SKUs, which are the Pipe Dream Bourbon, the Emerald Giant Rye, and the Lost Monarch blended whiskey. These two are from their limited lot series, where everything is made in Granton, California. So Redwood Empire, for their three core SKUs, do source some of their whiskey for that. They do make a portion of it in their distillery in Granton, but they do source some of it as well just to keep up with the market demand. But series like this, like their limited lot series, so something like the Devil's Tower or the Foggy Burl, or even their Bottle and Bond whiskeys, those are all made in the Granton distillery. So let's go ahead and get started with the Devil's Tower. So the Devil's Tower is a high rye bourbon, meaning the mash bill is 51% corn, 45% rye, and then 2% each of wheat and malted grain. And the barrels for this were aged for at least 5 years. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So what's really nice about this high rye bourbon is that there's a lot of fruit characteristics on here. Kind of a combination of both red apple and green apple. So you get the kind of sweetness from the red apple, you get the little bit of acidity from the green apple, and there's really nice bright notes of cocoa here, really big floral rye spice, more that classic kind of rye flavor profile, and then there's some soft anise as well. Kind of on the finish, you get more of the apple, both red and green apple, and then the anise comes out a little bit more, so lets that fruit kind of linger on the palate. But nice layering on this for sure. Develops on the palate really nicely. Definitely one where as you're sipping it, you're going to keep picking up flavors. So it's really nice high rye bourbon. If you like a little bit more spice in your whiskey, if you're not a huge rye fan but you want to get into rye, this is a good one to start with. If you are a rye fan, this is a nice bourbon that has some really big rye characteristics as well. So it'd be nice for everybody, I think. This is a good example of what Redwood Empire does with their special series. Now let's go ahead and move on to the Foggy Burl. So the Foggy Burl is a single malt whiskey from Redwood Empire. And the term single malt can be a little tricky. It's easy to think that it just means that it is made with one single grain that is malted to make the whiskey. But what it actually means is that it is a malted whiskey that comes from one single distillery. So you can have multiple malted grain whiskeys that are blended together from one distillery, and it's called a single malt. And that's what Redwood Empire does here. They have over 7 malted grain whiskeys that are blended into this combination here. And single malts in California, or in America as a whole, are starting to get a little bit more popular. The first one that always comes to mind for me is the St. George Baller, which has been around for at least 15 years, if not more. The Virginia Distilling Company, which does a lot of single malt whiskey as well. And yeah, so let's go ahead and check out what this one's like. So when it hits the palate, the first thing that comes to me is a combination of chocolate and cigars. There's definitely more depth after that, after your palate gets kind of used to the flavor profile. But yeah, the first thing you get is some really dry cocoa characteristics, bold kind of cigar leaf, tobacco leaf flavors as well. That tobacco leaf kind of leads into more of a earthy peatness, so like more of the peat moss actually. Instead of the smokiness, you get more of the earthy umami kind of characteristics of the peat moss there too. There is some soft stone fruit. There is a little bit of a peach characteristic, but definitely more chocolate, more savory. Dries out the finish too. The dry finish comes off with a little bit more roasted coffee and dark chocolate. So it definitely gives you some more robust flavors on the finish. And there's a lot of layering on this one, just like with the Devil's Tower. There's a lot of depth there. This is one where as you sip it, you're going to keep exploring flavors. But yeah, chocolate and cigar really just pop together, and it makes a really fun combo of sweet and savory. Alright everybody, that's going to wrap up this episode of Sipping with Jeremy. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I always love going through Redwood Empire stuff. I always get excited when they have new items. As I mentioned before, they are out of Granton, California. They do have a distillery up there where they are making a good amount of their whiskey. For their cores, they are sourcing some of that stuff as well. Again, just to keep up with market requests. But anything you find from them that's part of their small lot batches, I'd really check out. I love their core items too. The Emerald Giant is my go-to rye. I think the Pipe Dream is a great kind of savory bourbon. And the Lost Monarch is a really good blend of the two. So you get a little bit more of the richness from the bourbon, but you get a little bit more of that spice characteristic from the rye too. But the limited series stuff, I mean, I think, their bottle and bonds are some of my favorites every year. The Grizzly Beast and the Rocket Top, it's going to be a different profile each time, but, it's bottle and bond, so it's all made at that Granton distillery. And same thing with these two limited edition whiskeys here. All the juice in these bottles is made in Granton. Definitely do yourself a favor and check out these Redwood Empire whiskeys. They are really cool. They are limited, so I don't have much of each, but make sure you get them while you can. Thank you for watching. I will put links below for everything connected to Redwood Empire and the store. That means our first video. Again, I apologize for the look of the first video. We've gone a long way since then, I guess is the easy way of putting that. But yeah, I'll put that link down there. I'll put any of the write-ups I've ever done for Redwood Empire. I'll make sure to put the link so you can check out our Redwood Empires that are available online. Some of the limited stuff is only available in store, but feel free, to give us a call if you are, if you want to get something too. We can always do a phone order for you. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with as many people as you'd like to, too. This is not a secret. Go ahead and share the Sipping with Jeremy's with everybody. And I'll see you on in a little bit. Have a great day. Drink well.